Our top story at 5, a jury awards 3 Kentucky state troopers nearly $1 million.
WDRB's Stefan Johnson shows us the items that led to a whistleblower lawsuit and a $900,000 verdict. Stefan?
Well, guys, this case started 2 years ago, or more than 2 years ago. Shoes and lip balm were the evidence in a criminal case and then at the center of that whistleblower lawsuit.
This was never an attack on any form of law enforcement whatsoever.
Retired Kentucky State Police Sergeant Kevin Burton says he never expected to file a whistleblower lawsuit.
We'd had a theft. We had thefts from the evidence room. That was very clear and concise.
Sergeant Burton says between July and November of 2019, he learned another officer took shoes and lip balm from the property room at the Elizabethtown Post.
He took 3 pair of Eddie Bauer shoes. The shoes were associated with a fraud case that was still open. It was still actively being investigated.
Sergeant Burton says he, Sergeant Mike Garriantes, and Lieutenant Chad Taylor reported what they learned to the post commander.
It was a direct, nothing is going to happen, this is not going anywhere, and there were no crimes committed.
According to this evidence form obtained by WDRB News, the shoes were marked destroyed by fire.
This gentleman thought it was a good idea, for whatever reason, to steal this evidence from an open case and then stamp the property form, evidence form, destroyed by fire, when in fact they weren't destroyed by fire.
The officers say they were the ones treated like the bad guys for reporting the theft and eventually filed the lawsuit in December of that year.
We wanted them held accountable for what they did, and we're the ones that are evil? You know, that makes no sense to me.
After 2 years, the trial started on January 31st.
Is your testimony to the jury that you clearly told Hensley that you were going to take the shoes?
The officer in question is Ryan Johnson.
At some point during that time before I left, I told Sergeant Hensley that I was taking the shoes.
On the witness stand, Johnson told his side of the story, but 2 other officers had different versions.
Did Ryan Johnson tell you he was taking the shoes?
No, not that I recall.
Did he tell anybody that he was taking those tennis shoes out of the evidence room?
No.
After several days of testimony, a jury awarded Sergeant Burton $500,000 and Sergeant Garriantes and Lieutenant Taylor each $200,000.
From my experience, this was the worst whistleblower case I've ever seen.
Attorney Thomas Clay represented the officers and believes the jury sent a message, and Sergeant Burton agrees.
This just gives us that sense of, we told you. We told you what we were trying to do was the right thing.
We've reached out to Kentucky State Police for comment, but so far there's been no response. Stefan Johnson, WDRB News.